What's up, guys? I'm back. Hope you all had a good New Year, holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Festivus. Yeah, that's a good one. And whatever suits you. Today, we're here to be talking about the Holosun 515 series on my scar here. Before we get into it, make sure you're following me at MadMaxGuns. I'll have it put under here on Instagram. It gives you a little behind the scenes as to what's going to be coming down the pipe. I post a little bit of videos of what's going to be, like what I'm going to be shooting, and you just get more of a heads up as to what's going on. And then I'm working on the website. There's going to be more to follow with that. And then the Patreon, obviously, is going to be more to follow with that. A lot going on, pretty busy. But let's get into it. So we got the Holosun 515 here. This is actually want to get technical, it's the HS515CM. It came with a lower 1/3 mount, and it's solar powered. It's a solar failsafe. We'll get a little bit more into that later. Obviously, by the video in the beginning, you saw how the mount went over with the scar. And if you've been a fan of this channel or just watching my videos in the past on Holosun, you know my opinion on their mounts. But let's do a little spec rundown. Just to get the finite details out of the way real quick. Like I said, it's the HS515CM. It is a red dot. It is a 2 MOA dot with a 65 MOA circle like EOTech. It's a 20 millimeter tube like most micro dots. It's made of, the housing is 7075 aluminum, which is pretty good, all things considered, price range and for what it is. It has the solar failsafe. We'll touch more on that later, but it's got a little solar panel here. It has a shake awake, so like when you put it down, if it sits for a certain period of time, as soon as you pick it back up, it'll turn back on for you. That obviously helps with battery life. It takes a 2032 battery, just like most micro dots and optics these days. 50,000 hours of battery life. Obviously, can't beat that. Like, that is up there with any other red dot. That equates to roughly 5 hours on a medium setting, but obviously higher settings less than 50,000 hours. But with the shake awake, it should last forever. 50,000 hours of usage. So there's 12 brightness settings. They're with the buttons on the side here. We'll talk more about that later. Half MOA adjustments. The caps actually have the adjustment screwdriver in them instead of having like an external tool, which is very nice. And then, like I said before, it comes with a QD mount, a lower 1/3 mount. That's not very good. But again, we'll talk about my opinion on that more. It comes with caps and a kill flash. Not using either of those. The caps I keep on my T2, but it's kind of necessary. I would just throw them out because I don't know. I just don't find them necessary. If that floats your boat, there are clear caps and a kill flash. But do you need it? The weight of the optic itself is 3.53 ounces, which is very comparable to the 3.3 or 3.4 that an Aimpoint T2 is. And just to compare them, I got a T2 right here. They're essentially the same size. This is my Sons of Liberty build that I'm going to be doing some more work with. I put a SB A4 on here. As of now, I like it more than the A3s, but more following that. And then I got a little visible laser on here just to play around with. But again, this would be something I'll be talking about later down the line. So cost, the MSRP is just over $400. I think it's $411, but it's street price. You can be seeing for about $350. And then you got to take into account you're probably going to want to switch out the mount, so add anywhere from another 60 to 120 to 150, depending on what kind of mount you want to get in there. But for what you're getting, it is still phenomenal value. And let's get the bad out of the way first, and then we'll talk about the good and then my overall thoughts on it. The bad, obviously the mount. I put this on the Scar and did all my testing with it. Did a couple thousand rounds over the past couple months. The winter got weird, so I didn't shoot for a while, but when I did shoot, I was taking this out. It's probably not quite 2,000 rounds, so I don't want to say a couple thousand rounds because it would be a line, but I did put it on the Scar to accelerate the life of it. I could say that if I use red Loctite instead of blue Loctite, maybe it would have helped more, but I've had problems in the past with Holosun mounts, and I kind of, through like what I thought about Holosun mounts, like I thought they were like complete shit, and it was just the mount. Easily replaceable. They take any aim point micro mount. Right here we got a LaRue, I don't even know what they call their lower 1/3 mount. It's not really a QD mount, you need a tool to take it off, but I got it off of one of those Instagram like secondhand story pages for a good price, so I'm not mad about it at all, and it FDE, so it matched. But ever since I put it back on with a LaRue mount, it's been flawless. Haven't put that many rounds through it, granted, but Loctite everything down and it's good to go. Not once did the optic itself lose zero. Again, we'll talk about that on the good side, but a couple other things that I'm not the biggest fan of is the buttons for adjustment on the side here. You got the like EOTech style almost. With these micros, I much rather have like the aim point like twist to adjust, and that also comes into my next point is the battery trays that are on these Holosun lights. One, the tool to remove them, if you lose the tool, like you're kind of shit out of luck. It is the smallest Torx key I've ever seen, and you need that tool to get it out, and it's like a little screwdriver, and then they'll scoop the tray out, and if you paint over it, you're shit out of luck again. I just wish it was like a regular battery cap, like a T2, and then you did your adjustments over there, and you knew what setting you're on. I just find like the twist to adjust way more, I don't know, it's more pleasing to me than the buttons. Even with like the T2, any you know, illuminated optics I have like for like glass for rifles, it's the only non-dial illumination for a scope I've ever seen was on an EOTech Voodoo, and looking back on it, I gave it a good review when I shot it, but after putting more and more rounds, I wouldn't suggest that there's more out there that is better than that for the price range. Again, rabbit hole for a different day. But the good price, first and foremost, obviously, it is about $300 less, so almost half. It's right around half the price of a T2, and you get a good warranty with it. Yeah, it's made in China, but like the construction's solid. You're getting more than just a dot, which that's, you know, subjective to be if you would rather that than just a dot. I happen to like the EOTech's reticle, so this was like perfect for me. It was like best of both worlds right there. The size of the micro and the reticle of the EOTech. EOTech does have better field of view. I have EXPS2 that I put on a new build that if you would have saw it on the Instagram, it's going to be my 2021 like workhorse build that I'm going to be training with most of the year. It's a 14.5 that I built from parts. Anyway, it was like a parts bin gun mixed with Christmas sales and stuff like that, but again, down the road. So you got price, you got reticle, battery life, obviously. The shake awake is really nice too, so you're not killing that goes with battery life, I suppose. The solar failsafe, they call it. So like you can go outside and you can have it on a certain setting, but like it'll adjust kind of to how bright or dim it is outside with it. So like right here, it's bright, it dims down when you put your hand on it. The circle's almost not visible, but the dot still is, and then you open it back up again and it's back to being bright. So if you're in a dark room, maybe it's night vision capable. I don't know, I don't shoot night vision as of now, but so that's a big up for me. And then durability. I've thrown this around, it's been shot on a Scar, nothing got rattled. Everyone talks about Scars or optic monsters. I've yet to have it kill an optic, but I have had it kill 2 mounts on me. Coincidentally, they're both Holosun mounts, but so take that with a grain of salt. But what I found is if you have a quality mount with like a good optic, the mount is what's going to make the difference. I'm pretty sure that's why SOCOM came up with the ADM mount that is made for scars. And it's like, so the big thing is cantilever mounts, supposedly not so good on scars, whereas like a unimount, like the Night Force has the unimount where it's just like one piece, or using scope rings. So it has like a good hold on the monolithic rail up top on a scar. Not a scar video, but food for thought for all you guys that are like, oh, scar monster, optic monster scar. Ah. Anyway, so essentially what we have here is a T2 smashed together with an EOTech, sprinkle on some solar power, and make it in China. And you got a high quality, budget friendly, high value micro red dot. Would I recommend this for a duty gun? Probably. Depends on what you're doing with said duty gun. If you're a cop, using for like your duty M4, sure. If you're an SF guy or like trekking through the mountains, or like a regular infantry guy where your guns don't really get treated that well, you're throwing shit around, maybe. But I mean, the CCOs and ACOGs and EOTechs that they issue, you're gonna be probably better off with that anyway. I've seen people put an NC Star scopes on their M4s. I'm like, what are you doing, fam? And they're like, oh, I can see further with it. I'm like, well, if one second you drive. Anyway, sorry, flashbacks. But would I recommend this for somebody for like a training carbine, a home defense gun? Sure, especially the home defense where it's like the shake wake. I haven't had a problem with it not turning on as soon as I picked it up. So home defense, yeah, probably. Pretty much anything, yes, with the caveat of like an actual deployment gun optic. But like if you're out there actually using your guns on deployment, you're more than likely have better stuff available to you that you don't have to pay for. But the fuck do I know? I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got a laugh out of the demise of the mount at the end there. And if you got any questions about it, feel free to drop them in the comment section. DM me on Instagram. Be on the lookout for the website, possible merch, Patreon coming up. And then if you have any questions or suggestions about anything, drop those in the comments. Make sure you like if you like the video, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And if you didn't like the video, as always, eat a dick. And here's some footage of me shooting irons at the end of the day after the optic blew off the gun because I still had more ammo to shoot, for your inconvenience. Be good, guys. I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Keep it real.